Ooh. Everybody was kung fu fighting. I need to get a better Chiron. Black Friday live stream. More than words is all you have to do. And I wouldn't have to say that you love me, 'cause I'd already know. What would you do? There we go. There you go. Chiron is up. What is going on, Jerome's? So a bit of an impromptu live stream. And yeah, we're just going to chill here for at least the first half of Raiders and Chiefs. Black Friday, Amazon, football, whatever. The Chiefs are just going to starch the Raiders. Sort of is what it is. And yeah, it's a bunch of college football games going on right now. Do some Q&A, and hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving to my American brethren. Everyone else, hope you had a good Thursday. How did you like work, you British people? Anyways, it happens, man. But going through, so right now, a bunch of college games going on. Boise, Genty still doing the damn thing. Colorado. I think that Travis Hunter is going to win the Heisman just because of the novelty of him playing both ways, even though I think the Genty's season was more impressive. But, also, behind the scenes, last year was a lot about bluster and showing off, but Deion's done a really good job with Colorado this season as they look to go to 9-3 on the season. I mean, 9 wins at Colorado. It's a hell of a turnaround, man. Absolutely is. And Shedeur might be the number 1 overall pick. Now, granted, it's sort of a down year, especially for quarterbacks, but we'll see, man. Yeah. Then the Gophers. What is it? Is it the Axe? I don't know. Because I'm not even like a Gophers fan. I just hate the Badgers and the Hawkeyes, which is pretty good. But it seems like they're going to be getting a win in Camp Randall, first time in forever. Let's see. Ooh, Navy. I love that Navy and Army are good this year. I think that's just good for America. All right. All right, so Raiders Chiefs is getting it on right now. There we go. Vikings currently, so there's a lot of things that happen. So Eberflus got fired. I think that obviously that was a given, but also I'm surprised that it took so long. I mean, frankly, you had a great opportunity to, this last offseason when you had Caleb Williams as the number 1 pick. You could have hired a offensive-minded head coach and synced him together with Caleb Williams long term. Now, I mean, Caleb, he's going to go through 3 different offensive play callers unless Thomas Brown retains the job after his interim tag. It's not good, especially for a guy that does need to work on structure and mechanics and all that stuff. So, I don't know, like, the Bears should have fired Eberflus during the offseason, but then they would have had to pay the McCaskies, like, they're rather thrifty when it comes to the team, right? But, see, Chiefs, Mahomes got the ball first. It really sucks that Creed Humphrey got that massive contract. I wanted him so bad. Mama. But, hey, Trey Smith is a free agent. Throw all the money at the former Tennessee Volunteer. Former 6th-round pick. It's going to be good, man. All right. So taking a glance at Enhance. So you got the PFF Power Rankings, which is always kind of fun to see. I don't know if this is updated with the Thursday games, but I guess it really doesn't matter. So you got the Vikings in the PFF Power Rankings, 97% to make the playoffs, 12% to win the division. And also you do have the Packers. This isn't updated. But the Packers still 97% to make the playoffs as well, which kind of annoying, but certainly is what it is in that regard. And the playoff standings right now, stupid Lions and their stupid faces. It's annoying, man. And you know that they should have got, right? And everyone and their mom is still just like puckering up and kissing the ring for, yeah. And you could say that they're brash. Yeah. Are they cocky? Sure. Are they tough and physical? Yes. Borderline dirty? I can't say, but because then I'll get attacked by Lions fans. But overall, like, God, so no. Like, it takes Eberflus and the Bears to F that up at the end. Like, well, first off, the Lions special teams guy, his heel was on the goal line, so it should have been out there as opposed to at the 1 yard line to start that drive. But the way that Caleb had been working, especially with Keenan Allen, it just felt like, hey, they're gonna do this, and not only just go down and kick the field goal to tie, but I'm talking about go down, score a touchdown to win. But it didn't quite happen. So they skated by there, and then they had the blowouts against the Jaguars and the Colts, whatever. But, I mean, also the Colts had multiple touchdowns taken off the board via penalty. Just ridiculous. Then, of course, the infamous Texans game where Goof throws 5 touchdowns, but the Texans are just like, why don't you guys win? Yeah. Why not? They handled the Packers. They handled Tennessee. Oh, yeah, the 2-point blowout against the Vikings that they still talk about. The Cowboys are ass. Thank you. Mahomes doing the dance. Scramble around. It's really annoying how uncoverable Travis Kelce is at times. They just chuck it up. Yeah. They got Seahawks. I don't know. Was that closer than people thought? No, not really. Cardinals, the loss to the Bucks, and then week 1 they beat the Rams because they injured half the Rams players. And also, if Cooper Kupp catches that third down, that's a loss. But yeah, it happens, man. But of course, we're just pissing and moaning about things that we can't control. And even though obviously we as fans can't control the Vikings, I mean, just going through and taking care of business, beating the Cardinals on Sunday, which, I mean, the Cardinals are going to be interesting because I do love me some Kyler Murray. I like what Gannon and company have done out there in the desert. I mean, they're 6-5. Sometimes they have hits, sometimes they have misses. Last Sunday was a huge miss for them. They lost 16-6 out in Seattle, but I don't know, I like them a lot. Nathan Bailey, $7 Canadian. What up? We are traveling from Nova Scotia, Canada to Minnesota for the Packers game for her first in-person games. Is a lock win? Skull production value. It's never a lock, but I think it'll be a good-ass game. And plus, how great would it be the Vikings at home, hitting on all cylinders, and all of a sudden just like layeth the smackdown, because the Packers have really been tiptoeing through the tulips as of late, a bunch of a-holes. But I want you to just match up against a real team. So it's like when the Vikings win a Lambeau and got out to a 28-0 lead and then sort of tried to give it back. But, I mean, the Packers got to play the 49ers practice squad. The Dolphins are certainly not cut out for that weather, and they didn't show up in the first half. They should have lost to the Bears. They should have lost to the Jaguars, for what it's worth. Texans was a near-run thing again. So, I mean, people always piss and moan about the Vikings in 2022 about winning these one-score games and having to be a little bit fluky. What about the Packers? What about it, man? Chiefs out here running the inverse wishbone. It's still weird saying Pacheco were 10 because every time I see 10, I still think about Tyreek Hill. Yeah. Yeah. So Nathan, you and the Miss have a good time down here. I don't know. What's the spread in this game? A lot. Yeah, I don't know, man. But go back to these power rankings. So what's interesting about it is, so the points column is how many points the team would be favored or be dogs against just a league average team on a neutral site. The Vikings would be 3.4 point favorites against the average team, and then how many points their quarterback would be worth if they're out in terms of the spread. Darnold is 2, Mahomes is 7 for reference. Jared Goff only 3.5. It's kind of see all those receivers. Oh, they got the flag. See, all these receivers doing the one-handed catch is like, why not just use 2 hands if you can? I don't know. And then the strength of schedule to date as well as remaining. So the Vikings have played that's completely changed. Oh well. And also they're projected at 12.4 wins, which I don't know, man. Like 12-5, does that seem kind of a negative outlook at this point? So there's zero goose egg D'Angelo Russell excuse for the Vikings not to take care of business these next 3 games. Like, the Vikings should end up 12-2 after Cardinals, Falcons, and Bears. Oh my! And then at Seattle, I mean, it's gonna be a tough place to play. Lumen Field is always difficult with the crowd noise, and if Seattle is able to get their ish together these next couple games, and they've been massively inconsistent after their 3-0 start, but it feels like the defense has really come together, especially Leonard Williams and that interior pass rush, so that could be a problem for the Vikings. But yeah, it should be 12-2. And then into that stretch run, you got 2 key games against the Packers and the Lions, and also noteworthy, 5 of the Vikings' last 6 games are indoors, so that is pretty noteworthy as well. So there's no excuse. And this time of year, the Vikings should start be hitting that crescendo, especially offensively. It felt like the first couple weeks, things came pretty easy, and then maybe around the league they got a little bit of tape on what's been going on, and a little bit of a blip in the middle of the schedule, but then reeling off 4 straight wins, including 3 on the road, which is extremely tough to do in the National Football League, and now we're here. And this season is a ton of fun. I can't even lie, man, especially since no one expected anything from Sling and Sam Darnold. Nada. No one expected jack squat from him, and the fact that he's looking good. I mean, even the most staunch haters and losers of the Vikings and Darnold and whatnot, they have to admit that Sling and Sam is looking really good. He's looking really damn good. Plus, everyone's talking about the draft, and I don't know what to make of this draft. Like, quarterbacks are obviously going to go high because of the demand and the quarterback tax, but early reports, I mean, I like Shedeur Sanders. I'm not in love with him. I like Cam Ward. I'm not in love with him. And I think that the Vikings are extremely lucky that they made the move to land a quarterback last year. And I'm really happy that it's J.J. McCarthy. And I know that early on, people are like, oh, look at Bo Nix. Oh, look at Jaden Daniels before they hit that tough stretch. Oh, the Vikings, they drafted the guy with a bad knee, blah, blah, blah. No, but let's see how things look 4 or 5 years from now. Yeah. How about at the end of those rookie deals? Who re-signs with their original team, right? And who's leading teams to Super Bowls? Which, I know J.J. McCarthy's just a winner, man. And I just think that DNA, working with Justin friggin' Jefferson, working with Addison and Hawkinson, and also Kevin O'Connell long term, it's going to bring the Vikings success. A lot of success, man. And also, just look at the Bears situation where, I mean, they've just had a gong show of ridiculousness at the head coaching spot, whether it's Eberflus, who was a horrible choice to begin with, whether it's Matt Nagy, a.k.a. fake-ass Brad Childress. I mean, it's just been embarrassing. Now, has Kevin O'Connell been perfect? No, far from it. But is there a lot to like about how he's handled this team? Absolutely, man. Like, Kevin O'Connell. All right, so let's bring this up. Don't trust Wikipedia for much, but in terms of keeping tabs on head coaching record, I mean, it's pretty good. All right. So you got Kevin O'Connell. How long gone are you going to be? All right, so O'Connell, 13-4 first season. Pretty damn good, right? 7-10. Now, the Vikings did collapse down at the end. They lost 6 out of 7 games. It happens, right? But, I mean, the Vikings were in the thick of things before Kirk Cousins popped his Achilles after the slow start. And, frankly, the Vikings would have had double-digit wins and may have contended for the division if Kirk didn't get hurt. That's exactly what would happen last year. And now the Vikings are doing some amazing things with Sling and Sam Darnold. O'Connell, even with injuries last year, I mean, still has a .644 winning percentage in the regular season. That's pretty freaking amazing. And you've seen him do it with Kurt, with Mullins, with the Pasternaut, with Darnold now, and probably Daniel Jones, as well as J.J. McCarthy in the future. You want this man leading your team. You want him doing some fantastic things. And I'm really, really happy that we have Kevin O'Connell as our head coach, man. It's really good, man. All right, so if you got a question or comment, toss a couple bucks in the super chat because we're wrapping up November. And so this is the second to last day, annual Thanksgiving food shelf fundraiser. Every dollar donated to the show, the rest of the month will be sent to various Twin Cities food shelves, including our friends over at Every Meal. Super chats on the live streams, as well as the Venmos, Cash Apps. Direct donation link to Every Meal is in the description as well. So actually, let's make sure that's in the description. How do I edit this? You'll figure it out. Yeah. So anyways, thank you very much for doing that. We love giving back this time of year. And I know that you guys are generous throughout the calendar year. We with the Venmos and the Cash Apps, and also the live stream donations and stuff like that, and it helps keep the lights on around here. But this time of year, love doing the food shelf in November. I love doing the toy drive, which will turn over on December 1st. So we'll start that up. Margaret really likes the toy drive, so. Anything donated to the show during the month of December will go to Toys for Tots, and past years we've just passed along and donated. And Margaret wants to go shopping this year, and then donate the toys. I think that's important to do with kids, just learning how to give back and be a little bit selfless, because kids by nature are selfish, right? But learning how to be a little bit selfless and learning how to give back and doing what you can, I think that's important to put out there. So we're going to do that with Margaret this year. But yeah, Kevin O'Connell, I love Kevin O'Connell, man. Like I know that it's always woulda, coulda, shoulda. Like, what if it was Harbaugh, right? Who's got it better than us? Nobody. But I don't know, like, Harbaugh would have been great for about 4 or 5 years, and then I think that personalities would have clashed. It's happened with Harbaugh wherever he's gone, including Michigan, by the way. And with O'Connell and Kwesi, they just seemed so in lockstep, right? They get it, right? And I know that Kwesi gets a lot of poop for the 2022 draft class, but he should get credit for the 2022 free agency class, especially on defense, because think of the free agents that are brought in this offseason from the outside. Not just re-signing your own guys, but guys like Jerry Tillery, been great against the run this year, underrated. The high-end pieces like AVG and Grenard, studs. Hottie Ward has been delightful. Cashman, Grugier, Hill filling in for pace. That's been huge. And then, of course, Gilmore and Shaq. And then you got underrated veterans like Bobby McCain, Fabian Moreau. Like, all these are important, right? And yeah, you kind of had to go out and sign these free agents because you didn't have the depth that you would have had if you would hit on some of these 2022 picks. But that just is what it is, right? And then offensively, free agents like Sam Darnold, free agents like Aaron Jones, and it's kind of interesting how things have worked out. All right, but yeah, I do feel comfortable with Kwesi and with Kevin O'Connell. Really do. Let's see, box score. How come this is all wonky? How long gone are you going to be? Why is it like this? So my overview. There you go. So I'm not sure what to think about the Black Friday game. Now, obviously, it's great because it's more football, but I don't know. Like, is it the big ratings cash cow that they want it to be? I don't necessarily think that it is. Like, it is a game, sure, and it's a rivalry game, yes, but I don't know. Like, are people building their Friday around watching this game, right? But also, there's a ton of other things going on. Jackson Powers Johnson, JPJ. I wanted him so bad, but wasn't meant to be. Actually, let's go through the 2023 draft. Why not? Now, 2024. Aiden O'Connell. All right, so the Vikings, were clearly in the market for a quarterback in the 2023 draft day 3. They could have had Aiden O'Connell in, I think he was a 4th-round pick. They took Jaron Hall in the 5th round. But they could have set it up with O'Connell. Or was that too stupid to even think about? Would that have been too on the nose? I don't know. How long gone are you going to be? All right, so here's a little something about me. Like, when I get, like, obsessed with something, like, I'm in. And I don't know if it's a touch of autism or whatnot, but like I drill down on really stupid random things. Like get me on Pro Football Reference and I'll look at random box scores for hours. Actually, maybe we'll do that on this live stream. But the 2024 draft. So again, historic 6 quarterbacks in the top 12 picks, and we are so lucky. We are so lucky the Vikings have J.J. McCarthy, because could you imagine? All right, so say the Vikings, who are some quarterbacks taken late? Like Rattler. How long gone are you going to be? Milton, Jordan Travis. All right, so let's say that the Vikings didn't take a first-round quarterback and they waited till day 3 and they took Rattler, right? And Rattler had some interesting preseason moments, but I don't know if you're ready to say that he's the guy in New Orleans, right? But say the Vikings had Sam Darnold. Like, if the Vikings didn't have a quarterback in or the future in place, they would just re-sign Sam Darnold, right? You'd probably give him $40 million a year. And then, like, the whole premise of having your starting quarterback on his rookie deal, one of the greatest competitive advantages right now in terms of roster building, that gone. It's gone, man. But 2024 draft. So you got Williams, Daniels, May, yes. Harrison. I think Harrison's underrated, man. I know the Malik Neighbors getting all the love and attention, but Marvin Harrison's a tough-ass dude, and we're going to see him up close and personal on Sunday. They got Joe Alt, the pride of, he's from, like, the northern burbs. You know, the pride of Notre Dame. Is doing good things with the Chargers. Neighbors, I mean, Neighbors already at a level 1 diva where it's like, I wasn't getting the, 2 games ago, he's like, I wasn't getting the ball. And then he got thrown the ball against the Cowboys and he had drops. He's like, I don't care if I have drops, keep throwing the ball. It's always someone else's fault. Okay. Latham with the Tennessee Titans, stud. He's going to be a stud, man. Penix with the Falcons. I don't know, man. If Kirk keeps getting banged up, we may see Penix sooner rather than later. And Odunze is going to be good with the Bears. Like, once they get a competent OC in there, maybe Thomas Brown's the guy. But, you know, get an offensive-minded head coach. Like, the dream for the Bears would be, obviously, Ben Johnson. Right? But Johnson has already made it known, like, he's going to be very choosy about where he goes. And also, it's going to require a lot of money. It's like, remember when Ben Johnson was going to be the guy in Washington last year? And then he was just like, no. When the commie contingent were on their way to Detroit, it's weird, man. But I mean, yeah, Ben Johnson with Caleb obviously would be, you know, the dream for Chicago. I just don't know if the Bears would be willing to pay what's going to take to get Ben Johnson, especially since they're paying Eberflus for next year as well. So I honestly don't see it. Then J.J. McCarthy, our guy, holding out hope, keep hope alive. He's going to be fine. I know that people just want to, like, have a turn in the punch bowl. It's like, knees are never the same after surgeries. Yeah, because every single knee is the same, right? No. McCarthy's going to be fine. And just the tools and the traits. And plus, you know, the fact that McCarthy, you know, with all the GoPro footage and stuff, as well as just classroom watching film, like, he has been getting a crash course of a life in the NFL. And he's a sponge. And he's going to work his ass off. He's got all the physical traits, like we said. And he and Kevin O'Connell, it's going to work out, man. I love it. Bo Nix. So, Nix has been putting up numbers, and I like the way that stupid-ass Sean Payton has constructed an offense around what Nix does well, and it's working, you know, so far for the Broncos. I think that they potentially could be a playoff team. Actually, where are they right now? Because basically, I think it's going to come down to, well, it was going to be the Dolphins, but maybe not so much now. But the Broncos, wow, that's a gap. That is a gap now. I was going to say the Dolphins and the Broncos slug it out for the last wildcard spot, but basically there's a 2-game gap separating these two jabronis now. So I mean, is the AFC playoff set in terms of who's going to be in? Now, shuffling through on the seeding, but could you say that, you know, Colts, Dolphins, Bengals out? It's possible. Then you got the NFC, whatever. Basically, well, Parsons says that the Cowboys are going to go on a run and make the playoffs. I don't know if I buy that. Yeah. But basically, I think that the wild cards are sort of set, but there's going to be, I do think that the the NFC South and the NFC West is still going to be up in the air, because right now the Seahawks are leading the NFC West at 6-5, but you got the Cardinals also at 6-5, although they just lost a tiebreaker, and then you have the Rams and the Niners bunched up. I think the Bucs are going to challenge the Falcons for the NFC South. I really do. Yeah. Then everyone else, Giants officially eliminated. Panthers can still make the playoffs. Let's find a way to do that. It'd be fantastic, man. I love it. What were we talking about? Yeah, the draft, the Z draft, right? And we always say that it takes a couple years to evaluate a draft, win, lose, or draw. And I know that people are going to be really mad. It's like, Diamond Dallas Turner, but what about what Jared Verse is doing with the Rams? What about what Chop Robinson is doing with the Dolphins? Now, respect. I mean, Chop Robinson is a stud, and I know that people want to compare him to Verse, but Verse is 2 3/4 years older than Dallas Turner. Right, and he's played a lot more football. And Turner does need to add size to be able to be an every down player in the National Football League. And you could say, well, just put him in as a situational pass rusher. Who do you take off the field? AVG, Grenard, Jones when he's out there. Hottie Ward has been fantastic as well. I don't know. It's a tough situation with no perfect answer. But I still believe in Turner's talent, and I think like with Jim McCarthy, he's got the right mindset, puts in the work, busts his ass, is going to go from there. So let's look up a random draft just to talk about. Let's say 2002. What? Come on. 2002. Is this a Calvin Williams draft? No, it's a year before Calvin Williams. Is this McKinney? Guess we'll find out. So up at 1, expansion David Carr, the most sacked quarterback in NFL history at the time. Peppers at 2, swing and a miss. Harrington, Mike Williams, the tackle from Texas, as opposed to Mike Williams, the receiver from USC. Quentin Jammer was a stud, man. Texas representing. Ryan Sims from KC, Bryant McKinney. Now, this isn't the one where they missed the card, right? I don't want to say that it is, because that was, I'm pretty sure that was Kevin Williams, right? But, yeah, getting Bryant McKinney. I mean, he had all the physical tools, man, but he was okay with being good and getting all the plaudits and all the cash that come with being an NFL player, but he just didn't want to be great. He was okay with being very good. Yeah. Roy Williams, stud, safety from Oklahoma. John Henderson. I just remember the video of John Henderson pregame, like the equipment guy would just, he would ask the equipment guy to smack him across the face as hard as he can. He's like, "Thank you, baby." Woo. Love John Henderson. Levi Jones, Dwight Freeney, HOF. Although Jared Allen does have better numbers than Dwight Freeney. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Bryant, Stallworth, Shockey. Let's see, you being the U. Let's see here. Who the Vikings getting? All right, so McKinney. Then, second round, Ronald Smith from Washington State. I thought that he was going to be good. Maybe not so much. Then Charles Bentley, solid center. Portis. Yeah, Portis randomly with like the second highest fantasy scoring game in NFL history, which is good. Like it's 5 touchdown day. Mahomes dropping back, checking down. Xavier Worthy. Worthy. Michael Lewis. Made a Pro Bowl. Yeah, there you go. Willie Offord. Come on, man. Ben Lieber, the next pick, San Diego Superchargers before coming to the Vikes. Also, how would you like to be Ben Lieber? So you're a South Dakota kid, went to K-State, going out to San Diego, German for a whale's vagina. Westbrook, Chris Hope. I just love seeing guys that made like one Pro Bowl. Brian Williams, cornerback from NC State. I was thought that Brian Williams was going to be a little something. Do we miss one? Offered. Brian Williams, the Nightly News. Garrard from ECU. That's good, man. Ed Teamu, guard from Utah. I'm always bullish on the Polynesian offensive linemen. Like, we need more David Dixons. We need it. We need some Nathaniel Moody's in here, too. Let's see, Goodwin, Aaron Campman. Aaron Campman's an interesting guy, because thinking of like a giant white dude from Iowa who went to Iowa. It was like, hey, what team do you want to play for? The Packers. He didn't play for the Vikings, did he? In my mind's eye, no, he went to the Jaguars at the end. In my mind's eye, I feel like Campman might have been in camp with the Vikings for one season, but No, sometimes your mind plays tricks on you. Dun, 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 dun. Nick Rogers. Yeah. Actually, you know what? This is a better view. PFR Vikings draft history. Chiefs first and 20. Sort of playing around with the. Actually, you know what's going to happen? I mean, this is going to be a one-score game. And as I say that, Kelsey just gets 24 on first and 20. That's so stupid. How do they keep getting away with this? I don't like it. Imposter $5. What would hurt the team the most, losing B-Flow or losing Josh McCown or Keenan McCardle? I think both sting in different ways, but I think defensively losing Flores would be the big one because he may take Durante Jones as well as Mike Sarava with him, the DB coach and linebacker coach, respectively. So there wouldn't really be anyone here to hold the torch. And that's where O'Connell might go to Brandon Staley, since he does have experience with him, or Rob Salah would be fantastic. So we'll see. But, yeah, losing McCown, I feel like losing McCown's a given at this point. I don't think it would be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs if McCown somehow got a head coaching job. There have been scuttlebutt about him being a head coach for years now at this point, even though he had very limited experience. McCardle probably going to a play calling OC spot, yes. But also, even if McCown went to the Patriots, say they retain Gerard Mayo and give him McCown's relationship and connection with Drake May, I think that would make sense to replace Alex Van Pelt as OC. So there you go. Let's see, Vikings draft day. So let's go way back. And by way back, I mean during my lifetime. All right, let's do 92. All right, so Robert Harris. Hey, where did all the first round picks go? Oh, did they go to the Cowboys still? Probably. Let's see. Brad Culpepper had some great success with the Buccaneers. Brad Johnson also had some great success with the Buccaneers. It's weird how that works. Easy Ed McDaniel. Love Ed McDaniel, man. Just the undersized linebacker from Clemson. Just getting things done. It'd be fantastic, man. 1993, Robert Smith. They definitely put a emphasis on speed in the first two rounds. So Robert Smith, Quadre Ismail, coming out of Syracuse. Love that one. Gilbert Brown. Yeah, people forget that Gilbert Brown was with the Vikings first. Gilbert Brown, what could have been, man? Gilbert Jesse Brown, the Gravedigger, 6'2", 340, pride of Kansas. So he was in camp with the Vikings, right? Then they moved on. Then he joins up with the Packers, and man, we just need a no stack like that again. I know that Harrison Phillips is doing great stuff, but yeah. Also, hey, Gino Torretta, Heisman Trophy winner. Dwayne, 2 first-round picks in 94. Dwayne Washington, Todd Stussy, David Palmer, Deuce was a really good kick returner out of Alabama. Really liked him. Andrew Jordan, wow. If only he could have been like Steve Jordan, but maybe not so much. Then Bursich, God, sounds familiar. I forgot he went to Notre Dame. That's right. Then you got Dirk 2 first-round picks back-to-back. Nice. Derek Alexander, Corey Stringer, rest in power. Orlando Thomas, also rest in power. Corey Fuller, I always thought was underrated, man. Thought that he was underrated as a cover corner. Chad May, I mean, I kind of had some hope for Chad May because that's when May was backing up Warren Moon during these years. James Stewart didn't really have success here, but did find a couple of decent seasons as a backup with the Jaguars. Jason Fisk, getting things done. Dwayne Clemens, so this was the run where the Vikings would just draft the edge rusher du jour and hope that it would work out, and it never did. So Clemens, Manley, Mo Williams. I mean, Mo coming out of Kentucky was solid as a 3-down back. Also the recipient of the Randy Moss over-the-shoulder lateral, which was fantastic as well. Love to see that. Let's see here. Dwayne Rudd, Torian Gray, Stalin Collinet. Come on. Yeah. Antonio Banks, thanks. Robert Tate. Robert Tate was fantastic, man, because so he came into the league out of Cincinnati as a cornerback. No, as a cornerback, then they tried to make him a receiver. Or was he a receiver they tried to make a cornerback? I don't really know. Yeah. So So 98. They tried making him a two-way player because he does have career 2 for 20, Applebee's, 2 for 20 on 7 targets, 1 first down. Woo! 98 Vikings. Getting things done. But, yeah, it's kind of weird how that happens there. All right, so Robert Tate. It's fantastic. Matthew Hatchett, who coming out of Langston University, who I think that Matthew Hatchett is like in the fashion business now. Or maybe I just made that up. Don't really know. I do know that Blair Walsh is a model. Hold on. Blair Walsh. Everywhere you go, always take the weather with you. Oh, yeah, here we go. No, Blair Walsh looking good, man. Get in focus. Focus. There you go. All right, so Wilhelmina, I guess that's the agency. All right, so Blair Walsh is looking good. All right, so he's 5'11", 40.5-inch chest, Mr. Big Chest, 32-inch waist. Sports, football, American, and not really. Lifting, soccer. Actually, I wonder if Blair Walsh, if he would have played soccer from birth, if he would have been leading the U.S. men's national team. Like, he'd be a better version of Christian Pulisic. Because, I mean, yeah, Blair Walsh is always jacked. He just missed random-ass field goals. It's too much. It's way too much. Blair Walsh is a family show, man. Hey, Rob, happy Thanksgiving, Andy. Is it doing a live stream? And yeah, what up? Oh, yeah, happy belated Thanksgiving to everyone. I don't know. I feel like I would hire him. Actually, he looks like the third cowboy on Yellowstone. I think his name's Ryan. Yeah. The one where at the end of season 5 or in the middle of season 5, they were doing like a sort of like a love story with him and Lainey Wilson. Yeah, that one. Yeah. All right. So back to the draft. All right. So this is literally how I spend my free time. Just looking up stuff on Pro Football Reference and then going on tangents. It's not a bad life. Dwayne Rudd. Dwayne Rudd was supposed to be the guy as well as like a pass rushing outside linebacker. The portrait of Torian Gray, Stalin Colonnade, like we talked about. It's pretty good. We're good. The 98. Yeah, 98 was fantastic. So Randy Moss, HOF. Kylie Wong, which if Lovin' Kylie is right. No. If not Loving Kylie is right, I don't want to be whatever. But my countrymen, partly. Ramos McDonald. Ooh, I forgot. So the Vikings had a stretch where they were constantly drafting a third-round cornerback, and they failed miserably. When did that start? All right, so let's see here. Because it was actually pretty reliable. All right, so Eric Kelly fits that mold. Not Chapman, he's a running back. Ramos McDonald out of New Mexico. How you draft a McDonald out of New Mexico, man? You want fries of that? Shoot, because you can't cover. Let's see here. Or am I just making this up? No, there's a ton of them. There's one from Georgia. Willie Offord was a safety. Burleson, like we said. Dustin Fox. Oh, yeah. The Vikings, before Cooper DeJean, the Vikings were the last team to draft a white cornerback. Dustin Fox, 2005, out of the Ohio State University. They moved him to safety. Marcus McCauley, Fresno State. That was an issue. Asher Allen, that's the one I was thinking about out of Georgia, where it's so funny how sometimes there's trends and forces. But so Spielman was involved by now. And respect. So Spielman's first draft, he was involved in, I believe, because he was hired after the 2006 draft, I want to say. So the first draft he was involved in was 2007. So his first pick was literally Adrian Peterson. I might be wrong there, but no, 2006, that was very heavily Brad Childress still, because that's why he made it a point of getting Tavares Jackson. And plus, also rest in power. Man. Plus, I love Ryan Cook, because playing Madden back in the day, I would just jack up Ryan Cook's attributes to be like a 99, and I would actually put him at right tackle and just run off tackle every single play. That's what I do, man. This is how we do. Actually, no, not even right tackle. I would turn him into a tight end and just run behind his ass all day. And sometimes what I do is enhance Jeff Dugan and his attributes as well. Run 2 tight ends to that side and just be unblockable, or even have Dugan at fullback. It'd be good. It'd be good, man. Some of these other drafts. What's the score of Raiders Chiefs? Oh, still 3-0. Start of the second quarter. Whatever. We're too invested here now. Let's see, Kevin Williams. Kevin Williams should be in the Hall of Fame. It's really stupid that he's not. EJ. So EJ was fantastic in the middle, man. I loved EJ Henderson. Aaron, his brother, maybe not so much. Burleson. My ass was really chapped that they didn't sign Burleson past his rookie deal. But, of course, he was the revenge from the Seahawks because the Vikings in 2006 signed Steve Hutchinson to the poison pill deal, basically saying that if he wasn't the highest paid offensive lineman on his team, that he had to become like the highest paid offensive lineman in the NFL or something like that. And the Seahawks had Walter Jones, who was a fantastic left tackle. So obviously Hutch wasn't going to be the highest paid. So then the Seahawks had to let him go. Then the Vikings signed him here and it was good to go. But then the Seahawks basically did the same thing where if Burleson, I'm paraphrasing here, but it's like if Burleson was the highest paid receiver in the state of Minnesota, he could be a free agent or something like that. And obviously the Vikings had Chris Carter at the time, which is funny to me. And also, Randy Moss and whatnot. They didn't have Chris Carter at the time. They had Randy Moss. But that's just really funny to me. Just how it goes. Ooh, Ontario Smith, the Wizinator himself. I mean, Ontario Smith was actually pretty good for a while, man. Ontario Smith went to Tennessee and Oregon. 5'10", 214, solidly built. He only had 2 seasons of stats. That's crazy. But career 4.9 yards per carry. That's carrying the load, man. It's looking really good. And see, receptions wise, 3, 4. That's not on screen. Receptions wise, he had 36 for 394. All right, so he had almost 1,000 yards from scrimmage in his second year. 938. That's crazy. Actually, I want to know more about the Wizinator. Let's see, Ontario Smith. Also, wasn't the story that Ontario Smith had a white Wizinator, so it didn't even work? I don't know. It's totally mine. All right, so Ontario, and I was like, Emilio. Ontario Smith. Smith selected in 4th round of the 2003 NFL draft by the Vikings. After the draft, he shaved his letters SOD, steal a draft into his head. Scrim Minneapolis last 3 seasons, 2 active, 1 on suspension. Rookie, blah, blah, blah. In May 2005, Smith was detained at MSP for carrying dried urine. See, I didn't know that carrying dried urine was a crime. I do that all the time. And sometimes it's my own. And mysterious device that was later identified as a Wizinator, a sex simulator toy often used alternatively to beat drug tests. How's it used as a sex? Yeah. In June, he was suspended for the entire 2005 season after a 3rd violation of the NFL substance abuse policy. There you go. And that sucks because he showed a lot of promise as a running back. Then went to the CFL, Blue Bombers. And he was basically cut. Hey, Ontario Smith Jr., Sacramento State Hornets, as a receiver. It's fun, man. It's good times. Wishing him the best. Back to the draft. This is literally what I do, man. Like, there's nothing better than like a Friday night when there's no social commitments. The wife and the kids are asleep, just like having a scotch and literally just pouring through. Let's bring one up. Let's see. What stupid box score should we bring up? Let's do 2013. Just a random Vikings season. Ooh, Raiders, baby. 1st and goal. Amir Abdullah, speaking of Vikings legends. All right, so 2013. Is that false start or illegal formation? Doesn't matter. Who cares? All right. So we have 2013 Vikings. They had the worst defense in the league. Sorry, Leslie. They're middling in terms of offense. They're let's see, 5-10-1. Yeah, this is the 5-10-1 season. All right, so Leslie Frazier, Bill Musgrave, Bill 3x5 Musgrave, OC. Alan Williams was the DC. Notable staff: Jeff Davidson, Clint Kubiai, Fred Pugic, Singletary. I forgot that we had Singletary. Kevin Stefanski, assistant quarterback coach. Also, you knew that Stefanski was going to be special when he survived the regime change from Leslie to Zimmer. I mean, that really is what stood out. I still love Stefanski, man. Got Jumpin' Joe Woods as DB coach. Back when the Vikings played at a proper stadium, Mall of America Field. Woo! Pretty Ricky Spielman. West Coast offense, whatever. And then a 4-3 defense. Going back, take a look at the tape. Back when training camp was still Mankato State. You know what you are. Over under 7.5 wins, so slightly above what the Vikings were this year at 6.5. I love that Amir Abdullah is still getting it, man. Still doing the damn thing. Pride, Nebraska. Let's go. All right, so Vikings walking through. Started 0-3. Oh, yeah, that's right. And then they went over to London, and the Steelers were also 0-3. And then the Vikings beat the Steelers 34-27. This was the Matt Castle, Christian Ponder. Yeah. All right, let's see. We'll square this up a little bit. How long gone are you going to be? Oh, yeah, Clete Blakeman was the official. Can't get rid of that guy. All right, so Vikings win. Back when the Steelers were kind of bad. And somehow Tomlin still squeezed out a winning record out of this. It's kind of crazy. Wake up at Wembley. Vikings get it done. 34-27. Got the scoring started. 70-yard pass from Castle to Greg Jennings. Love it. Imposter B, $5. Who'd you rather have, Zimmer Hellfire defense or the Flores defense? I would say the Flores defense because I feel like the Zimmer defense, I mean, they were fantastic, but there was really more of a product of just great players and lining up and playing, which is certainly fine. I feel like there's a lot more creativity with Flores, and I feel like that he's a lot more open to change and adaptation to his personnel and to the opposition. So I'm going to go with Flores. Even though that 2017 Zimmer defense was elite, man. Elite. Yeah, Clete Blakeman. All right, so blah, 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 blah. It's a Big Ben, 36-51 for 383, 5 sacks. Getting after things. Castle, 16-25. That's what, 64%. 248. It does annoy me when they don't list completion percentage. It's easy to do. 123.4 quarterback rating. Just had a 70-yard bomb. Actually, I think it was catch and run. Rushing wise for the Vikings. So $140 from Adrian and 2 touchdowns. It's pretty good fantasy. Oh, Jerome Simpson jumping. Jerome Simpson 7 for $124 on 11. It's fantastic. Greg Jennings randomly caught 2 touchdowns. I just remember the Greg Jennings contract. That was such a bad deal, man. And Greg Jennings was literally only here for 1 season, wasn't he? Pretty sure that's what happened, right? Yeah, 1 season. Oh, 2. My bad. So 2 seasons. Yeah. But did he sign like a 5-year deal? Yeah. But all right, so over in London, lost to the Panthers after the bye. Then lost to the Giants. Oh yeah, the Josh Freeman game. This was so stupid. So you lost 4 games in a row again. Beat Washington. Lost to Seattle. Tied the Packers. I don't even remember tie. What was this? The Scott Tolzien game? I think we gotta look. That stupid ass Mike McCarthy. This had to be the Scott Tolzien game, right? Am I making things up? Yeah, Scott Tolzien, but then he got benched, and then Matt Flynn came in and did Matt Flynn things, and then because Matt Flynn got the contract with Seattle in 2014. That was the same year that they drafted Russ, and then Russ beat him out in training camp. Cairo, $20. What up? Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving, bro. Hey, Thank you. Back at you and yours. By the way, which former Vikings player have noticed your channel? There's a handful of ones that we've gotten messages from or text from that they watch the channel from back in the day. I don't know if we should put people's business out there, but back in like the end of the Zimmer era, especially on defense, there's a couple of guys who watch the show, and sometimes they would confirm or maybe not so confirm some of our weird ass theories about what's going on, especially around like Daniil's contract and Daniil's neck and in 2020. So it's kind of fun. And I don't know, like sometimes it's easy to forget, like, hey, we're literally just talking in our basement to a camera, but people do watch this, so sometimes we gotta watch what we say. But it's kind of fun, man. But hey, Cairo, thanks for $20, paying it forward on Thanksgiving, and you're the best. Right, Ben. Yeah, that's so stupid tie game. Audie Cole was such a madman, man. Brian Robinson was fantastic. Brian Robinson was a physical freak. Oh, I'll bring this up. Listen, RAS. And again, this is exactly what happens when the cameras are not rolling. Maybe have a beverage, and then just really literally go through like old draft stuff. Actually, I just want to do it when we're talking draft. All right, so Brian Robinson from back in the day, University of Texas, hook 'em, baby. How much of a physical freak is this MFer? I mean, you see Brian Robinson, he's like, oh, how athletic can a fisherman be? But, all right, so he's 6'3", 260. Now, so he's given a poor size grade because it's up against other DNs, but if he was an outside linebacker, he'd be fine. But, of course, he played the end. But 40.5-inch vert, 10-foot broad jump, a 4.26 shuttle, 4.7, 4.40, including a 1.66 10-yard split. Dude's a freak. Also, 20-yard split was really damn good, too. Physical freak. Just getting after him. I love it. Love it, man. Jamarcus Sanford. Oh, Sendejo. Early appearance by him. Sherrills actually playing defense. That's where we were that year. Xavier Rhodes as a rookie. Broke up 4 passes in this game. What? Rhodes closed. Everson. See, this is Everson the year before he got paid, wasn't it? Yeah, because Jared Allen was still here. Yeah, Jared broke up pass, 5 tackles. Such a stupid box score. Yeah. Adrian, 32. All right, so this is important. So Adrian Peterson was a stud, still a stud, a year removed from his 2012 MVP campaign. But this is what pissed me off. So this is the Josh Freeman game. Now, I have a theory about this so Leslie was trying to save his job. Spielman trying to save his job too, but obviously he would be safe. But the Vikings were struggling at quarterback. They had Castle, they had Ponder, and basically the Vikings were at the bye week. They're 1-3. They picked up Josh Freeman. I think they picked him up at the bye week because he was in the mix for a little bit, or maybe it was Carolina week. Doesn't matter. Either way, the Vikings were struggling. Josh Freeman just got cut by the Buccaneers, and then Spielman signed him, right? And I feel like that there was some pressure for on Leslie to start Freeman because, hey, we made this trade. You struggle at quarterback. Get the kid in there. And I honestly believe that Leslie, who doesn't seem like a vindictive guy, was just like, hey, you know what? I'm going to start him. And I'm going to expose him. And whatever happens, happens. That's why in this game, it was a Monday night game too. All right, so the 1-4 Vikings were against the 0-5 Giants. 0-6 Giants at the time. And he's just like, okay, upper management is literally forcing me to start Josh Freeman. So I'm going to have him drop back and sling it 53 times. And like we said, Adrian Peterson is in his prime. But the fact that Adrian got 13 carries against one of the worst run defenses in the league, that tells me that Leslie Frazier was just like, F you, F you, F you, F you. Hey, I'm probably going to get fired, but I'm going to try and do it my way. But you want to play Josh Freeman? Oh, Riri. Well, he's going to play. He's going to throw a lot. 20 of 53 for a $190, had a pick, only got sacked once, but a 40.6 quarterback rating, which is not good, right? Did we just lose the live stream? What's happened here? How long gone are you going to be? Yeah, we're back in. All right, tell the street we're back up. So that's why Josh Freeman on this game, because this game wasn't as one-sided as the final score dictated. I mean, so it became 17-7 in the third quarter, but I mean the Vikings were within striking distance this entire game, but this wasn't in desperation catch-up mode throughout most of the time. Adrian should and could have been worked in more, but it's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous, man. And I just remember Freeman just like sailing easy passes, and obviously because he's learning a new offense and hadn't worked with these receivers, but also he was just straight up bad. It's just bad. Ray Petty, Andy, do you think Vikings should hire Eberflus as a defensive analyst? Only if you, I respect. I mean, Eberflus's defense is pretty damn solid, but nah. Kevin O'Connell doesn't have any ties with Eberflus, so I don't really see it happening. Although, was Eberflus in Indy when Grigson was there? Actually, I don't think so. Yeah. Then, I mean, the Giants were no great shakes either. Like, Eli was sort of whatever, sling blade. Peyton Hill, I forgot that Peyton Hills was with the Giants. Victor Cruz, Ruben Randall, Hakeem Nicks. I mean, that was a solid triumvirate of receivers. And, I mean, the 2013 Giants were only a couple years removed from winning the Super Bowl. It's kind of crazy, man. John Connor. Yeah, John Connor, the fullback, formerly of the Jets. I loved him. Brandon Myers, the pride of Iowa. Dude had a giant beard. Bear Pasco. It's always a great. Larry Donnell. I remember Larry Donnell had a random 3-touchdown game from fantasy football. And again, like I said, this is literally what I do. Tyler, $2. What up? Jack Reminger. I didn't realize Abdullah still played. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. Like, you look at Jerick McKinnon, you look at Abdullah. Like, if you can be a solid, like, 3-down back, specifically as a receiver and pass protector, I mean, you're going to be employed for a while. Let's see, Larry Donnell. Let's look for the game. All right, so Larry Donnell literally has 9 career touchdowns, and 3 of them came in one game. I do remember that I had to start him because I think I had an injury or something. See, this is 2014. A 2014 Thursday night game, and just randomly put him in there. And oh yeah, all 3 of them were in the first half. So I'm just like, get to 5, baby. Larry Donnell. Hey, Larry Donnell, what was your favorite career game? Don't know. Defensively, Jared Allen, Aaron Anderson getting after it. But this is a tough season. All right, so you beat Washington at home. You're 2-7. You got that tie that throws everything off. You lose against the Ravens in the snow game, and we've been over this one a ton. It was a great game. You beat the Eagles. You just randomly beat the Eagles. You lose to the Bengals, and then you beat the Lions at home randomly on the last week of the season. Where if the Vikings had lost this game, would they have ended up with the number 2 pick as opposed to 3 in the 2014 draft? No. Sorry, I'm thinking about 2012. The Vikings end up at 7, and they trade down to 8 with the Browns, and then 8 and then 9, because they took Anthony DeBar either way. That was Zimmer's first pick, and the Browns came up for cornerback Justin Gilbert out of TCU. Ooh, Brock Bowers, jet sweep. I love it, man. So yeah, the snow game we talked about. The game was 7-6 heading into the fourth quarter in a blizzard that ends up 29-26. Which is so. Just look at scoring from the fourth quarter. So Jerome Simpson, Dennis Pitta, Toby Gerhart, 41-yard touchdown. Then they took the kickback. All right, so the Vikings go up 19-15 with a minute 27 left. Jacoby Jones takes the kickoff back for a touchdown. And then the Vikings march all the way down. 79-yard pass from Castle to Cordero. I believe it was a screen pass and like a broken play or something like that. And then, so 45 seconds left. I don't think the Ravens had any timeouts. Down 4. And Joe Flacco just beep, bop, boop. Marlon Brown. That's how I knew that Joe Flacco was elite. Also, the over-under in the Blizzard game was 41.5. So when it was 7-6 heading into the fourth quarter, you're like, I got it made. That's why I never sports bet kids. But this game and everything. I think Adrian got hurt this game too. And so it was the Toby show. Yeah, 15 for 89 and 1. Just so stupid. Oh, just so dumb. I mean, this box score is, I love it. John Carlson, the pride of Litchfield, is out here. Jarius Wright, the right stuff. Chase Ford, that's just the U being the U. So if you're like a super OG Jerome of the show, like you remember that I used to have an obsession with the Vikings third string tight end all the time. Chase Ford, getting it done. Like, I should have stronger feelings about Johnny Munt, except I have nothing for him except for contempt. Red Ellison, his dad Ricky was very annoying. Defensively, yeah, Greenway, Audie Cole again, Sendejo, man. All right, let's talk about something happier. All right, 2017 Vikings. Let's do that. 2017 Vikings, what could have been? The defense, 1-1, 1-1, no big deal. How were they? Oh, third down, number 1, red zone, number 3. Yeah, that's somewhere that the Vikings' current defense definitely needs to fix their ish in the red zone. It's kind of tough right now. Yeah, but Case Keenum, Teddy had the one throw that got picked, but he got back on the field. That's what's most important. But all right, so for the Vikings, yeah, because Dalvin tore his ACL early in this campaign, so it was Latavius and Jarek splitting time in the backfield, which was really good. Targets wise, Thielen. I mean, 2017 was his breakout season, man. 91 for 1276, 4 touchdowns. Diggs 64 for 849 and 8. Kyle Rudolph, also had 8 touchdowns as well. It's awesome, man. Treadwell, yeah, 20 for 200. Treadwell sort of getting it done. Jarius Wright, I love it, man. Defensively, oh yeah, Sherles. Let's see, defensively, yeah, Kendrick, Sendejo, Harrison, Barr leading the way on tackles. Linval getting it done as well. Sacks, Everson with 13 off the edge. Daniil. I love Daniil Hunter, man. Yeah, Daniil getting things done. B-Rob. Yeah, what was great about B-Rob is, so 2017 was Daniil's first season as a full-time starter. He'd been a rotational as a rookie in 2016. And Brian Robinson, super selfless, just like, hey, Daniil is ready to start, so I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to do whatever. Like, B-Rob in 2017, he played everywhere. He played edge, he played interior, he played off-ball linebacker. Any way to help the team, that's selflessness, man. I love it. So, kind of missed Daniil. But Grenard and AVG for the same price, certainly take that. I miss Linval. Linval's still doing some things for the Cowboys. It's good to see. Harrison, obviously still Harrison. Let's see, Trey Waynes. Man, I wish that Trey Waynes would have worked out. And do you know that he signed with the Bengals on like a multi-year deal and then got injured and then COVID? But so Trey Waynes right now he's really big into hunting. So it's really fun seeing his social medias. He BBD, Big Buck Down in Illinois. It's awesome to see that. See interceptions. Oh, Kendrick's out pick 6. Love that. Harrison leading the way with 5. Wayne's had 2. Xavier had 2. I mean, Xavier Rhodes was a bad dude for a while, man. And then eventually he was just bad. So it's unfortunate there. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Even though the game's still rolling along, the game's kind of boring as hell. And chat, I mean, this is literally what we were going to do. So, hey, thank you very much for coming along on the live stream. You guys are the absolute best. Thanks for contributing to the annual food shelf fundraiser. Again, everything donated show this month is going towards that. December, it's going to be Toys for Tots, and just love everything that you guys do. Very thankful and grateful for this community, and love you guys. Have yourself a great Black Friday. Have a great weekend. Yeah.